Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ronald Moten from the Ron Moten Show. Once again, I would thank you for joining me again today. I'm about to show you some footage from the Townhall Meeting that we had on the crisis for blacks in Washington, D.C. But before I show you the footage, two things I want you to do. One, to go to the link and read this article that was written in the Washington City paper regarding the event that I participated in. I was a panelist. I was asked to come and express my opinion and give the people some insight to what was going on, which I did. Some of the problems and what I thought some of the solutions were, even though it was cut a little short. I didn't get to do my whole testimony, so I had to run through it. But what's important is I want you to see what I said and what was printed, what was taken from what I said about family and everything else, important issues to me that we need to address, and was that printed in the paper, and what was printed. Now, nothing negative was said about me or anything, so I want to be clear on that. But my thing is that we have our own paper, our own media outlets. That's why I started the Ron Moten Show. We will be able to get our message out to the people, things that will uplift and educate our people on the issues and what's important, not sensationalizing things, because that doesn't solve any problem, not in our community anyway. So I want you to look at the link, read the story, and then you can go to this, to the footage, and just see for yourself, so you just can be educated on these things and understand why I'm doing what I'm doing and why it's important for you to spread the word. Thank you very much for tuning in once again, and God bless you. You have a blessed day. Bye.
First and foremost, I would like to say I'm black and I'm proud. But I also would like to say that I judge a man by his content and his character, not the color of his skin. Because in my life and over the last 10 years in Washington, D.C., it's been people that look just like me who have tried to destroy me. And one of the things that I want to say, we need to clean our mess up. We need to lock in a room and clean our mess up so that we really can deal with our issues. Because if we're not united, we're not going to be able to deal with no oppressor. So one of the things that I want to make sure, because we know some people in this room who don't agree with everything, or we feel as though have done some transgressions against each other. So like men and women, we need to come together and we need to work that out, because we are destroying our people more so than anybody if we're not together. The other thing I want to say, I would like for all the men to stand up and give our sisters a round of applause, because I don't know what we would have done without you over the last 50 years in the United States of America. I don't know what we would have done without you and the God we have upstairs. I'm going to read a testimony like I used to go down to city council and read. They didn't listen too often. The people out in the community listened, but we didn't come together to address our issues like we should have. So I'm going to read it one more time. And I thank you for having me here today. And I thank you for coming out to listen to the distinguished panelists. I first would like to say, if we're not willing to address our mess within our community, there's no reason to have this town hall meeting. As God says in 2 Chronicles 7:14, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven, and I will forgive their sin and heal their land. I will start with my major transgression. Having children out of playmate relationships for a moment of pleasure, resulting in having children by a few women I had no intentions on being with. Even being a good dad during these mishaps and raising one of my children as a single parent, we don't know how much damage this has contributed to the breakdown in our village and building successful institutions of success. Look around in D.C. Is that what you see other people doing? Are there as low as 17% of these folks with 17% of their families with a man and a woman raising their children together? No. When the majority of our children are raised in two-family households, they have a sense of purpose, like the children in 1963. Most people don't know. See, I was taught by the people who worked Martin Luther King. I wasn't taught by these wannabe leaders, the people who were dancing with James Brown when King was sacrificing his life. I was taught by the people who was drinking muddy water in Alabama. And the thing that they told me, that yeah, King went to prison, but it was more than 5,600 righteous children who were raised by parents who raised them up right, who went to prison and ended segregation. That's why our children's brains are being poisoned, because they know if our children, who have all the heart in the world, use this power in the right direction, on April Fool's Day, y'all know what that is? That's Election Day. If our children were awake, we can decide the outcome of the next election hands down in our favor. But we don't even educate our children because a few of us in our community have sold out. It's the same people in power in the District of Columbia for the last 30 years that look like us. It's the same people who have not shared the wealth, who have not trained others how to get where they at, and then when a guy from Iraq or somewhere comes and starts a busboys and poet, using our history, we get mad at him. Well, there's plenty of us who had the money and the opportunity to do it. But we want to blame everything on everybody else. And I believe we got to deal with some of them, but let's clean our mess up. Secondly, we must get rid of the jealousy and envy. That's our worst enemy. My mentor told me, and I talk about it in my book, he said, Ron, how do we get rid of homicides and change what's going on in our community? I said, I don't know. He said, we got to go back and deal with the first homicide. First homicide, Cain and Abel, jealousy and envy, poor parenting, the same things we have here today. And we got to go back and deal with that. This came from somebody who helped change and end segregation. It didn't come from me. It came from somebody who helped move mountains. If we must also trust each other and develop economic collaboratives. They have condominiums all over Ward going for $30,000. We could come together in this room and leave here and buy some of these developments. Brother Macio's in here right now. He has the whole list of them. Why can't we come together and buy some of these properties? We can't even do that. Let's come together, y'all. We can do this from this room right here today if we are serious. If we cannot unite and accomplish this as people, then there's no need of talking about a oppressive system, because you can't beat it with rhetoric and stump speeches. We need a plan of action. We need real action, or things will continue to be the way they are, and people will continue to laugh at us throughout the world. Let's get to some of the issues. The school borders. We're going back to 1963. They about to put these borders in place to decide where our children go to school at. How do we as black men and women, after our ancestors died, sit around and even let them have a discussion at the city council about drawing borders where our children can go to school at? And then they move them out of our schools and our communities on top of that. Per D.C. law, let's talk about the contracts. $459 million mandated by law to go to local small businesses. That's the law. Well, I'm here to tell you, our council has broken the law over and over again, and it's not by mistake, because if you empower local small businesses, they hire local people, which means black people get jobs. So how come that has not happened? And people come before you and ask for your vote again. How does that happen? You mean to tell me we don't have no qualified black businesses in D.C.? And then every time a black business comes out and does something great, like Omar Kareem, who was one of only 200 black men in America with a double degree, an engineering degree, and a law degree, and he was castrated before us, and we let it happen. Yes, we did. Some of us played a part of it. The last 7 schools and recreation centers built, none of them by minority developments. Affordable housing. What is affordable housing? $1 million house is affordable to some people, but not to us. We need workforce housing. Workforce housing is for that man or woman who only makes $15 an hour and want to work hard every day and still needs a place to stay in D.C. The median income there was $90,000 for somebody to stay in D.C. How many of you in here make $90,000 a year? Raise your hand. So that's like a mission impossible, right? I'm going to go through this fast. I know we got a lot of people to come behind me. The other thing they killed our music, go-go music. They shut down all the clubs. But most people in this room don't know how many people go-go music employed. The musicians, the sound men, the band movers. I mean, it was so many people. The bartenders, the clubs. So many people made a living off our music, and it was a way to convey our message, like music is done throughout time. Then somebody's killed at Adams Morgan in a club, they not shut down. Something happens outside of a go-go club because we don't get the police presence we need, and we shut down. Is this by accident? Is this by accident? Then the other thing that gets me, well, the problem with African Americans in D.C., they're not unemployable. We buy into that. I remember the 25 electricians that went up to Homeland Security who didn't have a dirty urine or record and didn't even get a call back. I remember when Brother Foster Ill and them had to go down to the African American Museum and do a protest just to get black people to work on a job site of an African American museum. How does that happen in Washington, D.C.? You better yet, how does that happen in America? D-Dot, the people who write all these tickets and make the city hundreds of millions of dollars. Do you all know that they're the only employees in D.C. who get year-to-year contracts? And they don't get employed, but they make the city more money than anybody? This is how we're being treated. MPD. Did y'all ever see the Rayford Edmond documentary? Y'all remember what Maurice Turner said? Ain't nothing changed. He said, let them kill themselves out. That came from the Metropolitan Police Department. He said, let them kill themselves out. That's why when 13 people were shot on North Capitol Street, it took our mayor 30 days to show up. Now you picture 13 people getting shot on Capitol Hill and the mayor coming 30 days later. What would happen to him? What would happen? So I'm gonna close. I got a lot more to say, but I'm gonna be considerate. I'm gonna be very considerate. But it's our time to rise, y'all. We have the power to do what we need to do. People told me and Jahar Abraham, when we started the Peaceaholics, why y'all doing all this work for free? We worked for 9 years for free. We didn't get nothing for, nobody got paid for doing the work. Then as soon as you get a dime, people hate on you. As soon as you send 161 children off the corners to college, people hate on you. As soon as you do 41 truces, people hate on you. As soon as you help 300 people get jobs more than Homeland Security, people hate on you. Well, I'm here to ask you, when are we going to come together for real and not be a bunch of rhetoric? We don't have to agree on everything. Friction makes diamonds. It's what's in your heart that matters. If we all are serious about helping our people, it does not matter whether you're Muslim, Christian, black, white, I don't care what color you are. You have to be serious about helping our people. And we got to love ourselves more than anybody else. Because if we don't love ourselves, don't expect nobody else to. Thank you.